Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're not just talking about making money, we're talking about keeping it. We're going to build a blueprint, a financial fortress to protect everything you've worked so hard for, all by using one really powerful legal tool.
So let's start with a question that honestly should keep every single business owner and investor up at night. Imagine this. Someone slips and falls at one of your rental properties. Without the right setup, a lawsuit could come after not just your business, but your personal savings, your car, maybe even your family home.
The answer isn't to just cross your fingers and hope for the best. No, it's about being smart. It's about building a really solid legal and financial structure that's designed for one thing, to protect your personal life from your business risks.
Okay, let's dive right in. Cornerstone, the absolute foundation of your entire fortress, is a specific type of limited liability company, or LLC. This is really where it all begins.
So the whole idea here is simple: separation. An LLC creates a legal wall. People often call it a corporate veil, right between your business dealings and your personal life. And that veil, that's what shields you if the business ever gets sued or racks up debt.
And this slide really shows you the night and day difference. On the left, if you're a sole proprietor, you and your business are the exact same thing in the eyes of the law. A business lawsuit is a personal lawsuit. But look on the right. With that LLC shield, the lawsuit stops at the business. That difference, that's the key to sleeping well at night. Now, experts are pretty clear that for assets like property, you need a specialized version of this tool. It's not just any LLC, it's a holding company, and its purpose is incredibly specific. You see, the beauty of it is its simplicity. This LLC's only job is to own the property. It doesn't manage tenants, it doesn't fix leaky faucets, it simply holds the title. This is how you isolate the risk of that one asset from everything else you own. But look, building the walls is just step one. Now we've got to talk about how to actually operate and maintain this thing. Because the fortress with the gates wide open offers zero protection when you actually need it. This four-step process, it is not optional. This is the discipline that proves to the legal system that your business is a totally separate thing. You have to treat it that way. Every dollar of rent goes in, every expense for the property comes out, all from this one dedicated account. And that brings us to the one mistake, the critical error that can make the whole fortress just crumble to dust. Paying for your groceries with the business debit card, or paying the property's mortgage from your personal account. That's called commingling, and it's a fatal mistake. And this quote just nails the consequence. When you mix your money, you give a court a reason to pierce the corporate veil, which totally wipes out your liability protection. You know, if you don't respect the separation, you better believe the law won't either. So, okay, how does this whole thing scale up? What happens when you've got more than one property? Let's look at how you can expand your empire without creating a total administrative nightmare for yourself. So now you've got a strategic choice to make. You know, the absolute gold standard is one LLC for every single property. That gives you maximum isolation. But to keep costs down, some people group cheaper properties together. The key guideline from experts is this: try not to have more than $2 million in property value or equity inside any single LLC. That's how you manage your risk exposure.
Now let's talk about the next level. We're moving beyond just liability and into privacy. And why is that important? Because the best lawsuit is the one that never even gets filed. Making yourself a hard target is a powerful defense all on its own.
This is such a clever strategy. You set up what's called an anonymous LLC in a state like Wyoming, which doesn't publicly list owner info. Then, that Wyoming LLC turns around and owns your local LLCs that hold your properties. So now when someone searches the public record for your property, they don't see your name. They just see the name of another LLC. And states like Wyoming are chosen not just for anonymity, but some even have specialized business courts, which is another huge layer of protection. Okay, let's bring this all home. let's really hammer down the fundamental principles that make this entire system work so well. These are the absolute non-negotiables for your asset protection plan. These are the 4 pillars of your financial fortress. First, separation is power. You use that holding company to isolate risk. Second, you have to maintain the veil with strict, clean bookkeeping. Third, you scale with intent, making smart choices as you grow. And finally, remember that anonymity is a shield. Master these, and you'll have a structure that can stand up to some serious financial pressure. And here is the real kicker. All of this incredible legal protection doesn't have to create a tax nightmare for you. Actually, when you do it right, it's amazingly tax efficient for holding real estate. These are the reasons why the LLC is just the perfect vehicle for real estate. First, you get pass-through taxation. In plain English, the profits pass through to you and you only get taxed once, unlike a corporation where the business and then you can both get taxed. Second, moving your property into the LLC, that's not a taxable event. It's not a sale, so you don't trigger capital gains. And finally, for your family, it offers a step up in basis. This means your heirs inherit the property valued at its current market price, which can literally erase decades of taxable gains. It's all a protection without the tax penalty. So we've laid it all out: the plans, the materials, the rule book. Understanding this stuff is the first step for sure, but actually putting it into practice is how you secure your legacy. The tools are all here. The only question left is, will you use them to build your fortress?